All righty, guys. Welcome to the Rhino Run Call Friday Hacking Leadership. We're going to be doing this today with Mr. Bryon Jaymes, the man, the myth, the legend, literally. And like I was just saying before we kicked off the recording, today is the last Rhino Run Call of March 2019. Monday will be April Fool's Day, first Rhino Run Call of April 2019. I mean, there's so much momentum happening in Pruvit right now. We just got to keep the hammer down. And the harder we go this weekend, the stronger our start will be Monday. And if you've looked in the store, Unleashed Eclipse, Unleashed Ruby Rush, Fairy Dust, Mitoplex, Keto Up, Nat Experience Packs, like the back office, the store, the cloud, the store is on fire. Like, I love the lineup of products. I love to see the innovation of Mitoplex and Keto Up. I mean, if you wonder why my energy every day on these Zooms is intense, it's because I wake up and I drink freaking ketones. I eat a keto diet. Like, I do the things that we talk about. If I would have went to bed last night eating Ben & Jerry's ice cream, I probably wouldn't be in the mood I am today. Like, we've got to get that mindset of, like, waking up to take action and crush it. I was talking to an entrepreneur yesterday at the gym, and we were talking about how we don't really drink. Like, I don't drink alcohol because it's not conducive to my business. I want to wake up focused and on fire and take action. I'm not saying you can't have a cocktail here or there, but, like, are you doing the things internally to your body, drinking ketones, eating keto, sleep, exercise? Like, these things impact your business. Like, Nick's not just this magical unicorn that brings this crazy energy. Like, I'm doing the things when nobody's looking. So are you doing the things when nobody's looking? Let's crank out. Let's get this going. I'm going to keep the introduction short, but I need in the chat. We got 75 of you on here. Let's get this chat blazing. Is anybody on for the first time? I need names of first-time participants in the Rhino Call in the chat. Let's start with first-time participants. No new people? We didn't invite any new people? Come on, guys. Who's new? Who's first time on the Rhino Call? If I don't see something soon, we're going to move. Dennis Clemmer, brand new. Lauren L., brand new. All right, 2. Come on, anybody else? Type faster. Let's go. Devin Lee Hardy, Kimberly K. All right, so we got a couple of new people. Not bad. Let's do some recognition. Who has absolutely crushed the month of March? Who was showing up? Who was taking action? Who was participating in the 5 and 10 days? Who was participating in the Keto Life parties? Who was active on the reboot page? Like, let's get some names. Serge, Kristen Shortland, Katie Rose, Sam Shearer, Paige Brown, Tanya, Sarah, Sal Green, Jessica Burns, Slinging 10 Days, Betsy Corsi, Steph Lombardi, Anna Marie, Devin, Kate Brugman, Inez for showing up, Jessica T, Betsy Corsi. If you get your name on there more than once, you're really doing something. That's my rule. If you can get your name in the chat for recognition more than once, you're hustling. Megan, Liz Castro, Chantel, Kristen Shortland, Melissa Spetz, Amanda Prairie, Caitlin Wolf, Jennifer Hill, Kayla Holdeman. Somebody just dropped like 9 different names. I can't even read them. Brianna, Melissa B, Can't Be Stopped, Paige, Sylvia, Emily Merrily, Shayna Anderson. If I'm hacking your name, they're moving fast. I'm doing the best I can. Taryn Stork is literally running. Is she literally running on the treadmill on the Zoom? I'm not sure. But guys, you know, I love to introduce Bryon Jaymes. We go way back, like 19 years since we graduated, 18, 19 years since we graduated high school together. We've been ride or die for quite some time. And he is just like, seriously, like his vision and wisdom and mindset is where you want to be. So success leaves clues. Bryon is always dropping clues. So let's open it up. I'm going to unmute Mr. Bryon Jaymes, and we are going to rock this Friday call out, and we're going to be cranking. If I can just get to the mute screen. There we go. Bryon Jaymes, you are unmuted, brother.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Can you hear me okay? Can everybody hear me? Okay, beautiful. Awesome. Thank you so much, Nick, for jumping in and hosting today. Really, really do appreciate you. And hey, we all need a little bit of Nick in our life, right? Sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, this dude's a little overboard right now. But if it makes us 1% better, 1% more excited, if it challenges us 1% more, it's a good thing. So Nick, as always, dude, I appreciate you. And you're right. We do go way, way back. And it's funny, and I'll kind of start off just with that here very quickly, is I was talking to somebody yesterday, somebody that I highly respect, and we just kind of talked about the progression of the last, I've known Nick for the last 19 years, or we've been connected. I've been in this space for the last 14 to 15 years. And someone said, hey, if you were to kind of break it all down, what would it look like? And I said, it would look like a whole bunch of struggle, a whole bunch of from the outside looking in, like a lack of success, a whole lot of this dude looking crazy, like nothing's going to ever happen. A moderate amount of pretty good, like being free, having the ability to not have to be told what to do and when to do it, and how to do it, being controlled by the man, if you will, having some freedom. And then just a wee little bit of time of just absolutely amazing dreams coming true, awesome things happening. But we look at it, I was reading this morning, and something really stood out that to me, like hit me like a ton of bricks, is it stated that persistent people's success starts where most others quit. And that honestly, most people we look at it as failure, they don't actually fail. People don't actually fail. They just make a decision to not continue to the goal. They just make a decision not to see it through. They make a decision to, hey, if it's 10,000 hours to mastery, I've put 2,000 in, and it's just going to be too long, and it's going to be too hard, so on and so forth. So before I jump into all this, I think it's really, really important that we anchor ourselves in gratitude. It's Friday. One of my mentors tells me, hey, today's best day. Today's the best day to get out there because you feel better. Everybody else in the world out there, their week is coming to an end. It's going into the weekend, and everybody's, you're excited for the weekend. Even when you were in school, how many of you since age 6 years old, 5 years old, were excited about Fridays? Like, even you remember the feeling Friday at school? I remember Friday at school. Probably the best recollection I have is like my junior and senior year in high school. And Friday was the day like you dipped out early, right? You literally dipped out early from class, from school. There was times where I didn't check in my last couple periods. I know that, I had to get really good at my people skills to make sure that I didn't get turned in and all that good stuff. But I was excited. I was excited to get out there, have fun. And unfortunately, the way the world is structured, that's just how you think. That's how you do. And what's so funny is that now, if I want to take my family somewhere, or if we want to do something fun or whatever, do you know when I go? Monday through Thursday. Why? It's because when the rest of the world is stuck in a cage, I go out and get the best of the world. I go out and experience it almost, completely uninterrupted, if you will, completely raw. There's some of you that are starting to experience that over the last couple of years for the very first time, and it's awesome, right? I encourage you to experience that. One thing that you realize is that successful people do things and take actions completely counter to the 98%. It's different, it's weird, but for me, when I understood it, I pursued it even harder. So with that being said, I want to go back and just anchor ourselves in gratitude very quickly. So what I would love for you to do is just drop in a chat. Actually, let's take it further. Let's actually make it mean something big time today. I want you to just very quickly text someone, reach out to someone very quickly, and let them know that you appreciate them for whatever thing. Don't just say, I appreciate you, because they're going to say, oh, you were on one of those Rhino One calls and they told you to text somebody that you appreciate me. No, don't just text them that you appreciate them, but let them know why you appreciate them. It may take you an extra 20 seconds, but I'll give you an extra 20 seconds to do it. So let's all do it. I'm doing it too. All right. Start giving me some thumbs up if you've done it. You know what? It already felt good for me because the one I just sent, I should have probably sent 3 days ago. And I actually feel better about it now. And what's funny, she's probably on here somewhere. So anyways, with that being said, let's just jump right into it. So today's not going to be long, but it is going to, I'm going to push you into, or I'm going to challenge you to a call to action very quickly today. And it's for some of you, I don't know, I'm not even going to get into it yet, but here's what I want to do. I want to go back to just honing in on one thing and one thing only, and that's belief. Do you realize that every person on here, and I see a whole bunch of faces, you know, and by the way, welcome if you're brand new, Lauren L., Devan, welcome, Kim, let's see, Dennis, welcome to the Rhino Run. Hopefully you get some value from this, and more importantly, hopefully you can use this space, hopefully you can use this environment to help other people. Hopefully, number one, it helps you build your belief in what you have your hands on, but number two, hopefully you understand that you can bring other people here to help them increase their belief as well. Do we realize that everything that we want, everything we do rises and falls on belief? It rises and falls on belief. Whether we like it or not, it rises and falls on belief. So we first have to believe. You know, we talk about, you guys have obviously seen me do it over and over and over again, potential, action, results, belief. Potential, action, results, belief. Potential, action, results, belief. So at some point, we have to truly believe. If we want to become successful at whatever the outcome, whatever the goal is, we have to believe, right? We have to believe. And, you know, it comes in many different forms, but I'm going to go back to the book. Hopefully all of you are reading. By the way, if you are reading this book, and hopefully in some of you, here's what I would love for you to do. Just in the chat, and just be honest. It's okay. Yes or no if you're reading the book. Yes or no. And I know that we've brought it up now on probably 10 calls. And just so you know, we're going to have to bring it up on another 10 calls for everyone to really say, oh, I bet you this is actually important that we should read this. Yes, that's amazing. I love seeing all these yeses. Just ordered it. Beautiful. No? Okay. I want you to, and if you're like, listen, for whatever reason, you just like, I can't order it or I can't whatever, I want you to reach out to me personally. I don't want anyone to have an excuse that they can't read this book. This book will change your life, and I know it will because it changed my life. So I want to go back to this. I've read Excusitis multiple times, and it should resonate with most of you. I'm going to come back to it here real quick. But here's what I want to read to you real quick. And it's how to develop the power of belief, right? Number one, think success, don't think failure. At work, in your home, substitute success thinking for failure thinking. When you face a difficult situation, think, I'll win, not I'll probably lose. When you compete with someone else, think, I'm equal to the best, not I'm outclassed. When opportunity appears, think, I can do it, never I can't. Let the master thought, I will succeed, dominate your thinking process. Thinking success conditions your mind to create plans that produce success. Thinking failure does the exact opposite. Failure thinking conditions the mind to think other thoughts that produce failure. Now, here's what I'll tell you. When you start doing this, you're going to feel like a weirdo, and those around you are going to feel like you're weird too. Because the realist in you always wants to come out. It's like, you know, no, like, you look at a situation for what it is and not potentially what it could be. But the problem is if you lean in on the realist side of things, 9 times out of 10, it goes down the negative road. It goes down the, well, here's all the bad things that can happen. Here's the things that I don't have. Here's the reasons why I don't have them. Here's the reasons why I can't have them. Versus, no, you know what? This will succeed. This will happen. And what you don't realize is when you say it, when you think it, when you speak it, your brain starts creating pathways to try to get to that outcome. Do you understand that? When you just go with realism, that shit just shuts down. Your brain, it just shuts down. It doesn't create any pathways. It's just like, you know, you're stuck with the hand you're freaking dealt. Like, you're stuck with it. And I promise you, that's not the case. But I will tell you, as I revert back to this, after reading this book, I literally felt like a weirdo, and I was going to be weird. I was going to be weird. Why? Because I was surrounded at my job. I was surrounded in my life by realists. I was surrounded in my life by people that were just, usually just negative, flat out. They saw a situation and everything bad that could possibly come out of it. And I just said, you know what? I got to break this pattern. I got to break it. And I did. And I just literally, in the midst of everything happening, I said, this is going to succeed. This is going to be awesome. This is going to succeed. This is going to be awesome. This is going to succeed. This is going to be awesome. And I would encourage you to do the same thing. Number 2, remind yourself regularly that you are better than you think you are, right? I want y'all to start to develop a little chip on these shoulders, a little bit of a chip. It's okay, right? Some of the best things going for me is that when I was young, I remember specifically in sports, my dad always told me that I was great, when probably many times I was not that great. But you know what I did? I ended up believing him eventually. And by believing him, I started to gain a little chip on my shoulder. And that chip on my shoulder, while some people look at it as a negative, it was absolutely a positive, because you know why? Because I thought I was better than I actually was. And you know what? I still actually believe it today, and I still continue to reinforce it. Literally, believe you're better than you think you actually are. It's so incredibly important. Successful people are not supermen, right? Success does not require super intellect, nor is there anything mystical about success. And success isn't based on luck. Successful people are just ordinary folks who have developed belief in themselves and what they do. Never yes, never sell yourself short, right? Once again, I want to continue the theme of a few weeks ago. I give all of you permission to succeed. I give all of you permission to succeed more than the person that sponsored you in Pruvit. I give you permission more to succeed than your damn circle of champion, which is just a stupid rank. I give you more permission to succeed than your pro champ. I give you more permission to succeed than myself, right? Like, that's absolutely and totally what you have the ability to do. You come spend 24 hours with me, and anyone that has will come out of those 24 hours saying, holy shit, if he can do it, I can do it. There is definitely nothing special about that dude other than the way he thinks. That's it. That's it. Literally. Number 3, and lastly, believe big. The size of your success is determined by the size of your belief. Think little goals and expect little achievements. Think big goals and win big success. Remember this too. Big ideas and big plans are often easier, certainly no more difficult than small ideas and small plans. If you remember, we started off with the book, The 10X Rule, and Grant Cardone says, you realize it requires just as much effort to do nothing as it does to do something. It requires just as much effort to do little things as it does to do big things. Why? Because 9 times out of 10, they consume the same amount of time. And what is our most valuable asset as human beings as we sit here today? It is our time. None of us want to waste our time, because it's a precious asset that all of us, we can never get back. We can never, ever, ever gain back our time. And this is incredibly important. So what I want to just simply say is this, is remember, the only thing that is going to feed your belief is going to be your action. You have to take action in order to grow your belief, right? Your belief is continually formed by the action that you take. Don't be the person that's constantly, thinking about doing it, right? You want to actually be the person that's in motion and actually doing it. So action is the only thing that is going to feed the belief. And here's what I'll tell you, and this is something that I'm going to add in 2 weeks when I jump on and do the Pruvit Saturday promoter call, is that I kind of adjusted. There's one thing that I added to that additional wheel where we start with gratitude and we end with certainty, and that is awareness. Why? Because when you take action, right, and you start getting results, right, results will vary. When you start taking action at first, it's just like anything else. It's not going to be great. The outcome is not going to be excellent. It's going to get better over time. But what's cool is you continue to go through that cycle. You have an awareness of, and your certainty grows because your awareness increases, because you're like, okay, this is to be expected. You've heard Brian Underwood say it before. To be expected, right? to be expected. Like, this is going to happen. And if you do it over and over and over again, you'll be expecting that, and you can help other people. And this is kind of the last thing I want to do before I give you your call to action. I told you I was going to end early today. For once, I'm sticking to my word here. Hopefully, we're not done yet. But some of you laugh and quit it. But here's one major thing. Here's why belief in yourself is so incredibly important, is because belief in this business, your customers' belief, your promoters' belief, your leaders' belief, whether you like it or not, and this is big, this is huge. 9 times out of 10, they're going to feed off of your belief first before they develop their own. You are going to be the bridge in the gap. You are literally going to stand in the gap, right? It's like if you've ever seen the picture before, it's like you were able to close the gap and go to the other side. But now when that person that's your customer, that person that's your promoter, that person that's a rising champ comes and they see this gap and it seems overwhelming, that's when literally it's their gap. It's not yours. You've closed the gap. Here's what 9 times out of 10 you need to do for them. I want you to think about this image in your head. It's laying over the gap. It's putting your body down and holding on to one side of the gap with your hands and putting your feet back. Can you see my feet? Putting my feet back on the other side of the gap and literally allowing them to walk over your back to get to the other side. You have to. Your belief is most important here, because how successful you are at obtaining customers, how successful you are at transitioning customers to promoters, and how successful you are of helping promoters become successful is going to be based off of your belief, which exudes certainty. And people follow certainty. People believe in certainty. So when you ask yourself sometimes, hey, was it the information that I didn't give them? Was it this that I didn't give them? I heard this said before. If something's going wrong, either you delivered the message, or you tried to have success, or you tried to transact with 100 dead people, or one dead person tried to relay or transact with 100 live people. So you have to automatically say, which one was it? Some of you are thinking about that. So it's either, if I was trying to have success with 100 people, it's one of 2 scenarios. Either you were the one that was dead, or they were 100 dead people. Meaning, you have to look inward. You have to look into yourself and say, what is my belief? There's nothing worse than, showing somebody the campfire video, connecting them to awesome resources and saying, yeah, I really think this is going to work. I'm not going to tell you this, but I only take it like every 4 days. I usually get on a Rhino one call, usually it's a 90-day Rhino run. So I've got on one every 30 days. So yeah, I'm fired up. I'm really excited. I know this is going to change your life. Like, are you kidding me? Do you think I'm fired up about that? Now, 9 times out of 10, you have, and Nick's laughing the most because he scares people into using ketone and scares them through excitement. But my point being is that it all comes down to, and it was just a bunch of funny ways to tell you that it all comes down to your belief. Your belief is a mirror to other people. Do you understand that? Like, your belief is a mirror. It's huge. So understand that, listen, the problem is not the customer. The problem is not the promoter. 9 times out of 10, the problem is you, right? So it's about your belief. Here's what I want to do. Like I said, we're going to wrap up early. I'm going to give you a call to action, and here's what it is. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Success leaves clues. Success is universal. It is hard to do one thing with excellence and then completely slack off in another area, right? And some of you may be guilty of this, and I would say that, listen, your overall success is it's an average. It's a factor. And here's what I mean by that. If you're really great physically, but you lack mentally, you will always try to use your physical success to bump up your lack of mental or emotional or social success, and you'll become very one-sided. You'll become very unrelatable, and you'll actually end up feeling and becoming very unauthentic because you're compensating for something. You're compensating. Here's what I would encourage y'all to do is to work on developing yourself in all areas and feel good about it. You should never feel like something is lacking, and if it is, it goes back to the other book I was reading. It says that people don't succeed on their weaknesses. People identify their weaknesses and they turn them into strengths. Or they just at least make sure they're not weaknesses anymore, right? Increase your average is the whole point. So here's what I want you to do. Today's Friday, and you're going to have enough time here, hopefully, to even knock out a couple of these things now. But I want you to feel tonight, when you go to bed, I want you to feel accomplished. This is going to be the hardest in terms of commitment, call to action that you've ever been given since the start of the Rhino Run. So here's what I want to say. I want to give you a little disclaimer. If you don't want to commit to it, don't commit to it. The worst thing you can do is do something and tell yourself, your subconscious can't take a joke. Here's what I mean. If you commit to doing something and you don't know and you don't do it, while you let yourself off the hook, your subconscious doesn't. Your subconscious catalogs it and logs it and says, hey, you know what? You failed at that. Hey, you know what? You didn't complete that. Hey, you know what? It gets buried down in here. So I'm very intentional about not committing to things that I will not see through, because I don't want to log it into my subconscious in the L category, right? I want everything that I possibly can to be logged in the W category. So if you know you have a day today that just won't allow you to do this, then commit to it tomorrow, right? Literally, right? This is super important, because the whole point of today is to go to bed feeling accomplished in multiple areas of your life, feeling very balanced, literally putting your head down and seeing truly what it feels like if you hit a touch point in all these areas. So this is going to require you to write this down. And if somebody could, Nick, could you please type these? Or actually somebody that types very fast, very quickly, very accurately, if you could type these into the chat, it would be amazing, right? So here we go. There's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. 6. So here we go. Number 1, exercise for 30 minutes minimum. Minimum. This meat suit that we all, that God has blessed us with, this meat suit, y'all realize it drives everything. And I'm a big believer, if you don't have your health, you have nothing. And you know what? When I start to develop this meat suit, when I really push this thing, it literally makes me better in all areas. And you know what? I had a mentor that reinforced that. He's literally a billionaire. And it's so funny. He doesn't he's like, this is the driver for your success. This is even in areas in businesses that don't even seem related. He's like, you have to focus on your health because it will make you productive in all these other areas. So bottom line is exercise for 30 minutes minimum, right? If you're already used to an hour and you've already done it today, great. Check it off the list, right? 30 minutes minimum, and push yourself. Don't just, I'm going to walk around the block. Walk for 5 minutes, sprint for 2 minutes. Walk for 5 minutes. Push yourself today. Make it feel good. Make it feel like it was worth it. Number 2, read for 15 minutes. If you have the book, The Magic of Thinking Big, make it this book. If it's not, it's okay. Pick up a book that's going to help, not Harry Potter, right? That shit ain't going to help anybody. Pick up a book that is going to actually help you develop you, increase your belief in yourself. 15 minutes minimum. Number 3, 5 new attractions. 5 new attractions. You've got the best training that I've ever seen in 14 years of experience on attraction into this vehicle and this technology that I've ever seen. And it's all logged on our YouTube channel. You can go back and see Katie and Kendra and all of them. And they're all amazing. They will all get results. I promise you that. So 5 new engagements of attraction. Number 4, 5 connections to existing attraction, right? So whatever you successfully attracted during this Rhino Run, if you're brand new, just double down. 10 attractions. I don't want any excuses of why you can't do any of these, right? And by the way, there's no official you realize every time somebody gives you a call to action or something that it's just a marker. It's just a goal. Like, you don't have to go. I've got messages back before. Hey, well, Bryon, I haven't actually started 5 minutes. Then do 6. Like, it doesn't matter. It's up to you. It's based on your commitment, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 5 is going to be a tough one, folks. It's going to be a tough one. Spend 1 hour of uninterrupted time with your family, with your kids, with your spouse, with your significant, 1 hour of uninterrupted. Here's what that means. No freaking phone, no TV. No phone, no TV. So if it's like, yeah, we like to sit down and watch a show for an hour, great. You spent 0 time with your family during that period of time. You were in proximity to them. However, you didn't spend actual real quality time. What's some good things? I can give you some good topics to take your goals and actually review them with your family, right? Your kids and your spouse, to find out some things that they want to talk about, some things they want to do, right? Your vertical alignment is so incredibly important. Some people, they use family as an excuse of why they don't do something. Remember I talked about this last week or the week before. If your vertical alignment is correct, your goals and your actions will never be in conflict. Why? Because they should be the reason. And if any time they've fallen out of becoming the reason, you need to go back and reevaluate. Super important. Right, here we go. Number 6 and last. 10 minutes. I want you to spend 10 minutes on the phone or on a Zoom or in person for an update, a check-in, a quick mastermind with just one person, the most positive, action-taking, setting the world on fire promoter on your team right now. If you don't have that person, then look up for them. And here's the reason why. Association is everything. Proximity is power. And sometimes we just need to feed off of other people. Nick Couch doesn't know this, but there's some times where my energy's low. And, sometimes my energy's high. And usually when it is and he calls me, I'll hit the freaking no button and say, dude, what do you need? What, but there's literally times when I answer the phone when he's calling because I'm like, I got low energy and I need this dude to infuse into me what I know for a long time I was infusing into him. And I answer it. And you know what? Right away, I leave the call saying, you know what? I'm making excuses. I need to do more. I could take myself up a notch, and here's the reason why is because he's in the hunt. When I was in the hunt, when I was in the pursuit and like to the point where I was unrelatable to everybody, like it was huge for me. Like that's the people you want to get around, the people that are flat on it right now. They're not making excuses. They put their family and what they're trying to accomplish for their family ahead of sleep. They put it ahead of all these other things, right? All right, I lied again. Sorry, that's the last one. So if you're committed to doing that, I would like you to give me a yes or a fist bump in the chat. Like I said, if you're not, then don't. It's a lot. This is going to take you 1 hour plus 30 minutes. So that's an hour and 30 minutes plus 15 minutes. That's another 40. That's an hour and 45 minutes plus another 10 minutes. That's an hour and 55 minutes. And then however long it takes you to attract 5 new people and connect with 5 existing, let's give you another, 5 minutes to 30 minutes. So this could be anywhere from 2 hours to 2.5 hours. And it's Friday and it's already West Coast time, 9:49 a.m. So if you are committed to it, I want you to go to bed tonight. And if you've read the chapter in Excusitis, here's all I want you to feel tonight. Is when you go to bed, you literally feel accomplished. You literally feel like you did something. Like you literally feel like, oh my gosh, this is day 1. And if I was to continue to do this, this feeling would continue. And I will persevere and I will literally be persistent and consistent in my actions, knowing that I just have to take this one step at a time, one day at a time. And that's all I did. Most people, they get ready and they build up to this, to trying to do this big thing. I've worked through being lazy. I've worked through being ambitiously lazy. And what I realized is what wins the race every time is consistent, persistent effort. Many people have beat me in the race, but still to this day, when it comes to my goals of success, no one is even close to me in the marathon. And that's the big difference. I look at things in a large scale of time and accomplishment because you realize Let me end with this. When most people quit, I gave you that quote earlier. When most people quit, they quit based usually on something emotional, something temporary. They make this lifelong decision in a short period of time. And once you start quitting becomes easy. So I want you to avoid that. I want you to take the pressure off yourself, and I want you to say, I'm running the marathon. Because here's what's so crazy. Mastery is 10,000 hours. Any of you could become masters in 10,000 hours. That's typically going to equate to 8 to 10 years of your life. My question is what's the alternative? Because you put 2,000 hours into it, 2 years into it, and you decided to quit, here's what you gave up. You gave up on the next 40 years, the next 50 years. And what does that lead to? Excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. Take the next 10 years to become great at something. It doesn't have to be this, but my hope and my prayer for everybody on here is that you experience success in a big, big way. But I'm telling you, you cannot shortcut the process. You have to be persistent and consistent. You have to put in your hours with real effort, with real action, while increasing your belief along the way. So with that, sorry, Nick, I'm over. So I'll turn it back over to you.
It's all good. I'm muted for just a second. Real quick, while we're talking about the action, because that's like my wheelhouse. If you could just add in there quick the proper action, the massive action, that little process, I think that would bring everything together for everybody quick.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Here's what we'll do. Nick, I'm going to save that for next week.
Right.
Any of you know what to do based on attract, connect, and enroll. And the other points of action that I gave you for this call to action, they're simple. They're anybody can do them, right? Anybody that can read can do them. Anybody that has a family can do them. Anybody that has somebody that they care about can do them. So next week, Nick, that'll be a good time for me to tap into, because that training and understanding the why behind it and the structure of it, that's going to be a full deal. But thank you for reminding me of that. And I will, that'd be a great topic to cover next
Awesome.
Friday.
All right, let's wrap this up. Like I said, guys, we have a couple days left in the month. Let's hammer down, commit to that call to action. Don't be afraid, like, oh my gosh, there's 6 calls to action. If you're already doing these things, like I already have 55 minutes of that done because I woke up and I read. I woke up and I worked out. And I already spent 10 minutes on the phone in a Zoom with some successful people that fire me up. So, like, these should be daily habits, guys. Like, don't wait till 12:15 for Bryon to tell you to do things. Get those done before be prepared. Let's go. The nutrition, exercise, water, sleep, taking care of you is important. Self-care. I'm going to stop rambling. We're over time. Guys, have an awesome weekend. Enjoy the rest of your best day. And we'll see you Monday, April Fool's Day. We're actually going to have a Zoom. We're not going to play any jokes on you. But we'll see you guys Monday. Thanks, B.